This podcast is sponsored by Up and Atom, home of the Big Bang Bacon, the 8-slider mix, and the all-new Bacon Triple Cheese Mount. Crammed with 10 slices of cheese and over 2 pounds of all-American beef, this meat mount will fill you up in an instant. Up and Atom. Once it pings, eat like kings. Hello and welcome to the 398th episode of the Faux Podcast. I'm Logan, your host, and today we're going to talk about teen relationships. Now, today's topic was requested, and I only said yes because I have little experience with it, and it might be a little bit funny. I'm going to read some real quick questions and answer them to the best of my ability and patience, really. Question 1. What types of relationships do you see day in and day out? Well, you see family relationships, work relationships, romantic ones, you see friendships, platonic relationships. Actually, I think friendship and platonic are the same thing, but whatever. There's acquaintances. There's a few. Some are more common than others, but you see most of them around. Question 2. Where do young people go to get the romantic relationship advice? They probably go to their clique or friends or ask around for what to do or if something is right in that relationship, I suppose. Question 3. What are some methods people can use to open up and communicate better? You can ask personal questions, show that you're listening to them, and probably just don't judge what they say to an extreme extent, maybe much at all, really. That usually just shuts people down and turns them away, and just, it's not fun. They're trying to open up to you and try and, be personal, but if you, judge them super hard for what they say or what they do, then, that's not what you want. Question 4. Why do you think some people struggle to communicate and bond? Well, they might not share the same interests, or they're just awkward around the other person. They're not really comfortable with them yet. And they struggle to find words or meaningful conversations or something that they're interested in. Going back to that stuff I was saying before, people can't really mesh well when they don't have anything in common. Like, if I like cars and you like sports, and we're really heavy in those fields, then we're probably not going to mesh too well. If we both like cars, that's great. If we both like sports, we're probably going to get along just fine. But if we're completely opposite in interests, I don't really think that's going to complement each other very well. This episode is also sponsored by GSA. Do you care about gender and sexuality equality? Would you like to express yourself with others that do too? Well, you're in luck. GSA is a North American-based organization that links the LGBTQ community together across the continent. You can find out more about GSA by contacting Monzo or Pohl at either Science Room 119 or English Room 244. See you there. Question 5. What are some challenges teens are facing in their relationships? I'm actually not too sure about what to say on this one. I mean, they probably have some personal difficulties that strain the relationship, or maybe because their brain is still developing, it stops developing around age 25 when we're talking about teenagers. Or maybe because that they might be in puberty at that stage still. They probably are. And that might cause small but frequent mood swings that can, I don't know, make some things difficult, I suppose. Question 6. How can we learn to accept ourselves sooner? And I don't really have too much for this one. Start by understanding that nobody judges you, probably more than yourself. Don't be too self-conscious about some stuff. You can be your own worst critic sometimes. And understand that we're all imperfect. The perfect person does not exist. You won't ever find someone who's perfect in every single way, and even if it seems like that, there's something that's just not right, and it's just, nobody's perfect, so don't ever think that. Question 7. What impact do our everyday relationships have in how we behave? I suppose they can make us more chatty and a little bit more comfortable around others. I don't really have much to say on this one. That's basically it. Question 8. Is it easy for young adults to recognize healthy and unhealthy relationships? Probably not. They're probably just wanting to be around a person or a group of people that they like or are interested in, and that group of people may be mistreating them in some way, but they probably don't know that, or it's just I don't know. Maybe it depends on the severity if they are being mistreated. Like if someone's like calling them awful names and just not including them like at all in anything that's meaningful, or just and I don't know, something like that, then sure, they'll probably notice that. But if it's like small stuff, like they're being like pushed away and they're like, again, not being included in some stuff, or just, yeah, something like that. So big things, yes. Smaller things, probably not. And lastly, how can adults help young people in their relationships? I'm sure that by giving advice with what to say, what to do, it could probably help them out, further their either platonic or romantic relationships, I suppose. And that concludes today's podcast. I think the topic of relationships is a little out of my realm, but I tried my best. Now go make some relationships of your own unless you already have one, then don't cheat, I guess. Thanks again for Up and Adam and GSA for sponsoring this rant. Be sure to get the all-new bacon triple cheese melt with the super hot atomic fire engine sauce, and that's it. Podcast out.